Fireteam Rogue is a game of considerable ambition. Never released despite lofty intentions of turning it into a multimedia franchise, what may sound like the name of a generic run and gun is in fact an action-adventure game spanning several genres, from platformer to something akin to space area. And in this first episode of Unreleased, The Lost and the Damned, we'll be peeking into its fascinating development history and playing and comparing the two prototype ROMs that have made their way out of the ashes of this fallen franchise that never was. So, Fireteam Rogue's story begins sometime prior to 1994, when the first preview for the game appeared in Nintendo Power. Slated for a release in October of that year, comparisons to Alien 3 were made, very fair ones given the gameplay I've experienced so far. One thing I also noticed were the grainy graphics that feel more at home on the Mega Drive than they do the SNES. There was a Mega Drive version planned for release as well, so that may be a reason why, but it's unusual to see this palette and graphical style on the SNES. And here in this article we also see one of the reasons why the game had a $2 million budget, the use of Silicon Graphics workstations to do some of the rendering on digitised graphics. $2 million, quite a lot in 1994, about $6 million today's money. As mentioned before, Accolade had ambitions to turn their new project into a multimedia franchise with not just a game, but also a comic book series, action figures, and eventually a TV show. Even before I started researching its history and saw the character selection screen, I could tell that Accolade had ambitions to turn this into more than just a game. Unsurprisingly, given the pressure developers were under, all did not go smoothly. Lead developer Russell Burgove later reported that development woes included poor management, personal conflicts, and Accolade's stubborn resistance to making the game smaller, leading to the need to develop costly and time-consuming data compression techniques to squeeze the game in. All while the PR train continued rolling, gobbling up the budget and extravagant displays involving holograms at the computer entertainment shows throughout 1995, and game development teetered on the brink of collapse. And if, by all accounts, it was the alpha version that had been demonstrated at the Winter CES of 1995, then it would have received a very lukewarm reception. To make matters worse, what had once been curious optimism from the gaming magazines at the time had long since turned into unflattering remarks about jerky animation and low-end graphics. Had Fireteam Rogue not been canned, its development would have continued into 1996, deep into the 32-bit era, and would likely have fared worse. And so, Russell reported, Accolade management eventually asked him if the project should be pulled, and he agreed. It's a shame really. As you'll see in the alpha and beta gameplay we'll take a look at now, there was indeed promise in Fireteam Rogue and its prehistoric, galaxy-spanning sci-fi setting, and in its cinematic, platforming gameplay, and the blending of genres. I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about its tortuous development history, at least as much as I have digging into it and making this little mini documentary. So, let's take a look for ourselves now at the game in both its alpha and beta prototype form, so you can decide for yourself if it had legs or not. And I'll say a thank you in advance for watching, and catch you on the flip side.